So a little bit of a chilly welcome today back to England's wonderful Lake District National Park. Absolutely love this place. It's feeling quite wintry today. We've got some small patches of snow, very small patches of snow up on the fells, up on the mountains, but that'll do me as a photographer. You know, when I'm going up these fells, I'm thinking about foreground, so we'll see. Before we get into anything, and on the note of winter photography, I'm very proud to announce that today's video is sponsored by Valorette. Valorette photography gloves. If you don't know who they are, they make these wonderful gloves specifically for outdoor photographers. So it's a bit of a niche, but that is our niche, isn't it? And we all know as landscape photographers the annoyance of wearing normal gloves. They're off and on the whole time, your hands get cold anyway, but that's just the problem. You still need to be able to use your camera, and this is the best thing about Valorette's gloves, is they have these wonderful little finger caps. I'll put it on, so they'd usually be like that, and then you can flip them back, and they've got these nice sort of strong magnets to keep it in place. One on the index finger, one on the thumb, and that's on both hands. So you still get full use of your camera, but you don't have to take your gloves off. Absolutely class. These, I've only just been sent these by Valorette. Absolute privilege. These are the Markov Pro version 3s. I had the version 2s all of last year, and they have grown to become my favourite pair, I think. But they've got all different types for, you know, different temperatures throughout winter, that sort of thing, depending on where you are, of course. So go and have a look on the website. If you want to get your own pair, head over to photographygloves.com, and Valorette have been kind enough to give me an offer code, which is just Henry, to get yourself free shipping. So honestly, highly, highly recommended. I won't be without these throughout the whole of winter. Even if I wasn't sponsored by them, I'd still buy them, and I wouldn't be without them throughout the whole of winter. I promise you, class. Probably a good Christmas gift as well, if you can get in quick enough. I had to get that one in there. Right, today's Wainwright is Kidsty Pike. I'm looking forward to it. We'll get into it a little bit more. Let's crack on. So I've not come very far at all, probably only about 15 minutes worth of hiking, and I've already found something to get the camera out for, and I just want to show you before I get set up how this scene's like unfolded itself. So look, we've got this one up here, which is Harter Fell, which I have been up, either Wainwright, and then you can see we're just looking further into Mardale there, this valley, and just look how it unfolds itself. We've got a few trees here. You can see a little bit of Hall's water there, the lake, the reservoir, and then this crag here. I don't know what it is about this scene, but it feels so Lake District. It feels like it's encapsulating so many, if not all, of the elements of the Lake District National Park that mean a lot to me, especially when I'm photographing them. But I also thought this was interesting. This is more to do with the hiking as opposed to just the photography, although you know yourself, they always tie in together. It's just how much the perspective of the landscape changes, you know, as you start on your hike. Like I said, it's only been about 15 minutes since I last spoke to you, but even in the past 5 minutes, it's changed so much, the perspective, just mainly because I've started gaining a small little bit of height. But we've just got this beautiful view down into Mardale, and yeah, everything's just changed for the better. Absolutely wonderful, and that's why I think it's worth getting the camera out for. So I'm going to get myself set up here. So I've been here for ages, to be honest, and I think this is one of those compositions that, you know, when you just start overthinking it and you don't need to, I've got the wide angle lens on the front now. I've done a pano. I've done one shot with the wide angle lens, and I've done one shot at about 28mm or something with the 24-200. Madness. And yeah, I've just hit a point then when I thought, ugh, I'm overthinking it. It's such a simple scene. Look, we've got trees, a little bit of lake, Harterfell, and then this lovely crag here, which I think is called Eagle Crag, or Heron Crag, that's the one, which is quite nice. Eagle Crag's the one a bit further behind it. But yeah, I mean, I've got these 3 different types of shot, just 3 different focal lengths, essentially, and I'll just pick whichever one I prefer when I get home. But yeah, quite a simple scene. Nice to have a little bit of snow up there on Harterfell. The sun has been breaking out every now and again around about here, which has been nice, just adding a tiny little bit of light up there into the sky. Sorry, I should rephrase that. The sun hasn't been breaking through, as in like light on the land, just a little bit of a bright patch in the sky, but it's made quite a lot of difference. It's been nice. So yeah, I won't run through the settings or anything like that because I've taken about 40 different shots. Probably not that many, but you know what I mean. But I think it's going to be quite nice. I've also tried to incorporate the hiking track, a little bit of a pathway here, which takes us in to the trees, the lake, and then obviously the mountains and stuff. But yeah, I love the balance that we're getting between Heron Crag here and some of these trees, which are going to be on the left-hand side, which is nice. So a little bit unexpected to get the camera out so early on, but as you know, as I certainly know out on a hike, you just never know when you're going to get the camera out. Wow, this is absolutely, look at this, stunning. Look at this as well, not just there. There's Haweswater. There's no one here. It's incredible. There's not even any sheep or cattle, not even any herdwicks. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. So, I think, should have checked this. I'm just assuming, I think, see this one here that's sticking out? I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong, but I think that is Kidsty Pike there. So I go up, just to the right hand side of these trees, up this beck, and then sort of scoot over towards it like that. But this, just from, I love it when you can see the whole of your hike like that. It's wonderful. We've got a little, you can see that, little RSPB bird hut there, which is the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. Looks like it could be a nice little bit of foreground interest. I don't know. If so, I'll pop a shot up of it. Probably not, to be honest. I want to crack on. Oh, unreal, man. pretty tough. Pretty tough, I'll tell you what. It's absolutely glorious out here. I think a lot of you will relate with this. We're all weird photographers who like just being out of the cities and away from people. I always think it sounds proper miserable, but it's a part of myself that I really like. Quite proud of it, you know. I just enjoy solitude. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're that type of person, which you probably are, if you're into landscape photography, a lot of us are like that. These far eastern fells here, absolutely spot on. I've seen one man with his 2 Labradors the whole time. That is it. From start to, I mean, I'm nearly finished now. That's why I'm stopping. I just wanted to show you. So I've got, see this little zigzag here? Probably another 100 metres of ascent. I don't know. Another half an hour or something. And it's going to be quite a simple little climb. But yeah, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm feeling quite optimistic about getting at least one more photograph, especially up from the summit. And looking back over towards Hartefell, which was the first mountain and I took a photograph of. Feels like a while ago now, but yeah, over there we've just got really small patches of snow. You know, I always say this, every winter I say this, but I always laugh to myself thinking people are watching from Canada or Norway or somebody that lives up in the Arctic Circle or something, I don't know. And they're thinking, oh, is this, you know, doing a bit of winter photography, are you? Look at this snow. But no, like, of course we get a lot more than this. You know, over the next few months, but this is nice, and I'm just thinking for the photography, you know, it's going to give the photograph just a little bit more of an edge. The sky, you probably won't be able to tell from there, it might be a bit bright, but it's just, I love it. Detail, dark clouds, bright clouds, more than enough to work with up there. All right, you know, it could be better. We could have some light shining through and stuff, but as I always say, that's probably just being a little bit greedy. But yeah, all in all, just wanted to stop to say, it's nice and quiet around here, and I'm feeling optimistic about the photography. So let's get up this last little section here. Oh, take my bag with me. So we have made it up to the top of Kidsty Pike. Let me tell you this, it's one of these where I've had, you know, well, not much of a view in this direction on the way up, just because as I was coming up the fell, I couldn't really see over the other side. And it just hits you when you get up here. I could see all the way back towards Fairfield, even Helvellyn and Bowfell off there in the distance. Absolutely wonderful. Now, as soon as I got up here to the peak, I always think this, I think as landscape photographers, we always have like probably 2 different mindsets when we're out hiking. We've got the mindset that everyone else has when you know, taking it all in, enjoying the landscape. But then that second one is, you know, you're thinking, you're working the landscape. You're thinking about, how am I going to take photographs? Do I want foreground? You know, what do I need? Like today I'm thinking, right, we haven't got any light. I need to work with shapes. I need to work with contrasts. And I absolutely love that, you know. So when I got up here, the first thing that I noticed was all these wonderful crags up here, and just thought how I've got to have them in this photograph here from the top. I think actually Wainwright has a drawing of these from the top, and it's like, you know, in quotes, view from the top, that sort of thing. So I like that as well, you know. Now I was going to shoot with the wide angle. I'm going to get the tripod out in a minute and get set up. I was going to shoot with the wide angle, but as I always say, I don't like how it makes things in the background look very small and minimal. You know, the mountains basically just get lost in the background with the wide angle. So I've got the 24-200 on, and I'm going to just zoom in ever so slightly, probably about 30 mil. But if you think about 30 mil compared to 14 mil on the wide angle, that's almost, well, it's over double the focal length. So it's just retaining the size really of the mountains in the background, but we still are going to get this wonderful foreground of the crags, because 30 mil, you know, it's still pretty wide on a full frame sensor. So it feels like it's a bit of a win-win for me, you know. So yeah, I'm going to get myself set up on the tripod, make sure it's nice and level, of course, because we're going to be doing a pano, and I'll talk you through it. Right, so we are set up. I've actually taken the photograph already, the panel. Sunset is in about 20 minutes, but I think we can probably all agree there's not really going to be one. I will stick around just in case, but yeah, there's a bit too much high cloud, I think. Now, yeah, I think this is going to be quite nice. I'll tell you what, I always find this, but it's quite hard to tell with a panel, isn't it, until you actually get it home and have it stitched together on your computer. So there's a little bit of guesswork, but there's so much texture in this photograph. I think when you get the snow like it is today, you know, it's just patches. That in itself gives the fells so much more texture. And then of course down here in the foreground with all these rocks and crags, that's got so much texture as well. So I'm going to say it again, texture galore. So yeah, it's about 5 shots from right to left, f11, focus down here on the crags. I'm not bothered if I lose a little bit of focus on the fells. f11, you know, that'll be fine for me. And it's 2 seconds for each exposure. So as always, you know, just made sure my tripod is nice and level so that our panel is going to stitch together properly in post-production. And then yeah, just moving across the way. Release the tripod and then moving across like that. And it's going to come out fine. And like I said before, I actually really like the sky. Yeah, all right, you know, we're not getting a sunset, we haven't got any light. I actually just seen another couple there and we were saying to each other, you know, this is the Lake District. This is the Lake District National Park, especially in winter, you know, so this is what it's all about. And doing winter photography today, I don't mind it, you know, I really don't mind it. I love the mood, I love the drama, I think it goes well with the snow. It's definitely a photograph that is very much about the contrast between the colours, between the blacks of the fells and the whites of the snow, the black and white that we're getting from the sky. Absolutely wonderful. So as the last photograph of the day, I think I'm going to be quite happy with this one. And I do love a panel. I do love a panel, especially up in the fells, you know. So thank you so very much for watching. Another huge thank you to Valerie for kindly sponsoring today's video. I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to go and check that out. If you're going to get some, make sure you use the offer code Henry for free shipping. I think that's international as well, not just the UK. Yeah, it is. That's international. So make sure you use it. But yeah, big thank you to them. Most of all, thank you to you guys for your support. I massively appreciate it. I hope you like this last photograph. And of course, I'll see you on the next adventure. Out.